Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and happy October. I don't even know how it's October. This year has just flown by and I feel like finally I can figure out what day of the week it is, that it's October, that it's fall now, with something that I'll actually talk about later. So today I'm sharing some of my favorite things from the month of September. I'm actually going to make a playlist, which I should have done a long time ago, but I'm going to put all of my favorites videos, which started in February of 2015. 16 I think. Yeah, February 2016. And I'll put a link to that playlist up there. So you can go back and then those all have links in the description to the coordinating blog post, which today there'll be a link below for links to everything. So I wrote this post a while ago before my wedding, which I'll talk about later. So it feels like I've already talked about this stuff, but just getting to filming the video now. So I have some entertainment favorites, some books, beauty, food and drink, and then this month I also wanted to start a price list category. So I got this idea from Blair Lamb, who I mentioned I think last month in my favorites, but she does monthly favorites as well. Or well, she doesn't call them monthly favorites, she does September favorites or whatever. But she has a price list category, and I thought it would be fun to mention something that could put a price tag on, but just a moment or something that I enjoyed doing or experiencing, if that makes sense. So without further ado, let's get started. So in entertainment, this show is actually on Food Network, and I can't remember when we came across it. It's on it, we've seen it on Sundays, and it's called Ridiculous Cakes. So I have a background in baking, and I make cakes on the side. I made my own wedding cake, and I do cakes, so it's really interesting for me to watch something like that, to actually understand how they do stuff, where they are explaining it in very simple terms, but for me to actually understand the mechanics and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't be able to go and just do the type of cakes that they're doing, but I get it, and I actually recognize some of the people on the show. So it focuses on different, kind of 2 or 3 different bakers in each episode and their project that they're working on that week type of thing. So one of them is Mike McCary, who is in Washington, and I have actually taken a class with him, so it's fun to see him on the TV and to see the cakes that he does. But I would definitely recommend it, especially if you like watching cake shows. The professionals doing that nailed it. I am recovering from a cold too, so apologize if I sound a little stuffed up. Next is a podcast that I have been listening to for a while, that I thought I mentioned it, but then I guess I forgot about it. It's Armchair Expert, and it's Dax Shepard's podcast. So if you don't know Dax Shepard, he was on Punk'd with Ashton Kutcher. He was in Parenthood. He's married to Kristen Bell, who, if you don't know Kristen Bell, is Veronica Mars, voice of Anna from Frozen. She's on The Good Place now. But he basically interviews his friends and other celebrities, but on a large scale. They're 2-hour episodes, but he is just so much smarter than you'd think he would be. And just the conversations that he have are so candid and so real and so in-depth, and he just asks the questions in such a smart way. He's very curious, and I'm a very curious person too, so I really get it, and really enjoy it. But he's had a bunch of people from Parenthood on it, so if you watch Parenthood, you'd definitely like it. He's had Kristen Bell on an episode. Some of my favorites, Mila Kunis was really interesting, Ashton Kutcher. He did one with Ellen DeGeneres. He's done one with Lauren Graham and Mae Whitman. But yeah, it's just been really interesting. He actually did a live show in Toronto, and I wasn't able to go. But it's just, I really enjoy his podcast, and I would definitely recommend it. And then the last entertainment favorite is a CD or an album, which I guess people don't really talk about anymore, but it came out this month and it's Cry Pretty from Carrie Underwood. I do have a physical copy in my car, but I didn't go get it, so I'll pop a picture in. But I actually already have tickets to go see her in June, but she's not touring until next year because she's having a baby, so I have been listening to it in the car on repeat. I've really enjoy it. I feel like it's a little bit different for her. It's a bit more poppy, but it still also has like the country side. I think I've purchased every single one of her CDs. And then you got a copy of the CD with the album, with the concert ticket. So I got that, but I also have it on Spotify and stuff like that. I think my two favorite songs are Cry Pretty and then Spinning Bottles, which is a really like heartbreaking song, but it's really beautiful. And yeah, so let me know if you've checked that out this month. Next I have books. So I didn't really think I was going to read any books in September, and then I ended up reading 2, and then I have a third one which I forgot to mention when I read it, and so I wanted to mention it now. So the first one is called The Favorite Sister by Jessica Knoll. So I've actually followed her for quite a while. She used to write a column for like Cosmopolitan magazine, so I read that, and then she had like moved it over to another website, and I continued to read it, and then she wrote a book called Luckiest Girl Alive, which I read that when that came out, and that's going to be a movie. And then this is her second book, so I'd been on the wait list from my library for quite a while since it came out, because I made sure to request it like as soon as I could. And it's really good. It was really good, and this one's I think going to be a TV show. So it's kind of based on like it's a reality show, and the cast of the reality show that's kind of like Housewives, but it's like called Gold Diggers. So it's females who like don't necessarily like need a man or like making their own way, all entrepreneurs and kind of successful business women, but like the characters in the book are based off of Housewives, and then it kind of goes into, well, someone dies and you don't really know who, or well, you find out who, and then you spend the book trying to figure out what happened, but it kind of jumps from perspectives and kind of like what these women are willing to do to stay in the spotlight, and you kind of find out like the truth is very subjective and fluid, like that you don't know who's telling the truth. But it was really interesting and really well done, and I really enjoyed it. The next one is a book that I read a few months ago. It is the Unofficial Guide to Disneyland 2018. So it's the brand, the Unofficial Guide, so you can get these for Disney World, which I have a couple copies over there. The Disney World one is much bigger. This one's fairly thin. But the Unofficial Guide, like, they go into so much detail that it's almost scientific. Like, for the Walt Disney one, they go through all of the resorts and, like, how good the pillows are and, like, which rooms to request so that your rooms are quiet while still being close to, like, elevators and stuff like that. Like, it's amazing. So if you like knowing all of the information, I would really recommend them. That's why I bought this, because I've never been to Disneyland before and I kind of wanted to know all of the information going into it. Like, they go through all of the restaurants, give recommendations, they go through all the rides and what would be scary for children, and then they have a whole section dedicated to kids. They have separate books dedicated just to going with children. That it's really worth it and very informative. They also have touring plans at the back, which here, let me show you. You can see I bookmark these ones. So this is a 2-day plan at Disneyland, day 1 and day 2. So it shows you the park and then actually goes through like what you should do in what order based on where the crowds move in the park, so that you're kind of one step ahead of them. So you're not going to run into crowds, that you can get more done in your day. And then they have ones for like the best of Disneyland Resort in one day, and you can actually cut them out and like take them with you. So really would recommend them. I've seen like people with the Disney World ones like carrying them in the parks being like, oh, what should I do next? Like, it's worth it. And then you can also, they have like an app that you can, that they have stuff that you can pay for. But yes, I would definitely recommend it. And then the final book is called Final Girls by Riley Sager. So it was kind of hard to find like a synopsis of this book, but basically a final girl is a girl who survives it's really dark, okay? Like a mass murder. So there's one girl in it who there was like a sorority house like massacre and she survived, and then this other person survived at like an inn where a bunch of people were killed. She was the only one who survived, and then the girl that it focuses on was staying at a cottage with friends and she was the only survivor. And just kind of like them trying to connect, and then one of them commits suicide, and them trying to like come together and figure out what happened and just what it means to be a final girl and embracing the title versus trying to like avoid it, just because everybody like knows your name and knows your story and knows what happened to you. But it was really good. It read like a horror film, kind of like you would see chapters from the main girl's perspective, and then it would go to like what happened that night, and it would be like from someone like a third, like someone who was watching the scene's perspective, like the camera in a horror movie, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't from one person's perspective, it was like you were seeing the scene as a whole. It was creepy, it was really good, and very appropriate for like Halloween season. There is a movie called The Final Girls, and it is not the same. It's not this book, but I would recommend it. Okay, let's move on to something a little lighter. The beauty category. So the first thing that I have is body butter from The Body Shop. This is Satsuma. It's a massive, but I like putting this on when I get out of the shower. It leaves my legs really soft, and the scent is like, it has enough of a scent that I enjoy it, but it's not too perfumey that it gives me a headache, and like I can put my clothes on and I can still kind of smell it, but it's not too overwhelming. And I have like a stockpile of it, so I'm slowly trying to work my way through it. I do find with body butter eventually it does get a different smell, like the scent fades and it just kind of smells old, that then you might not want to use it. But this one's still good, and I've barely touched it, but it smells so good. And then the next thing is this set of bath bombs that I actually got as a gift for just upcoming wedding. So what's the company? Grace and Stella. So it comes with 4 bath bombs. I've used 2 of them, but they're nice and small. There's like a Keep Calm one, a Good Vibes one, there's like an Energize, and what was the other one? Like something about like keeping you healthy, which I used before the wedding. But they're nice and small and they're just really nice. But it would definitely be like a nice set to kind of give to someone as a gift. Next category is food and drink. So the first thing is, if you've ever been to the restaurant Freshie, I would recommend trying to get their energy bites. They're little small balls that are like oats, and there's chocolate chips and coconut in them, and like seeds they're really good and they're really inexpensive. But you can also make them at home. I'll have in the coordinating blog post the recipe that we used to make them from home. They didn't taste the exact same, but they were very close, and I kind of just like picked them up on a whim one time at Freshie, and like they're really good. That they're nice, like I'd have them for snacks or just refrigerated. They're really good. They're good when they're cold. Then the next thing is a flavored water that I found, bubbly. So this one is orange. I got a big box from Costco that had lime, grapefruit, and strawberry. which like lime and grapefruit are kind of common. Orange, I've never had orange flavored sparkling water, and I've never had strawberry, but it's really good. It's like LaCroix, but you can get it at Costco, so you can get it in a big case, which, and then now I've seen them in the grocery store because I got the orange one. But it's really good. I really like the strawberry one and the grapefruit one. Sometimes I can be weird about grapefruit, like I don't like the bitter aftertaste, but I can handle that one, so I would recommend it. And then next is tea. I drank a lot of tea in September, trying to like not get sick until the wedding, which of course like the week after I got sick. But I'm like, that's okay. It wasn't for the wedding, so that's fine. So I wanted to talk about 2 different teas. The first one is a kit that I got, or like a big package that I got in Walt Disney World, that's Alice in Wonderland like themed. So it was, I think it had 6 or 8 different flavors, and they're all little triangle packs. I'll try and find a picture of the set and link it in the coordinating blog post as well. But I would just like take that into one of the triangles into work and just work my way through those tea bags, but there was like Earl Grey, there was a Mad Tea Party blend, there's a mango, a blueberry, can't remember all the flavor, a chamomile I think, so I've been working my way through that. And then another one that I wanted to talk about is from a company called Steep Tea, and the raspberry Earl Grey I really like, and I found myself going back to it over and over in the month of September. Okay, I feel like I've already been talking for a long time, so I'm gonna keep this next category short, but it's the priceless category, and it is our wedding. So the day has come and gone, and it's definitely like a weight has been lifted now that it's over, that it's not this thing in the back of my head that I'm constantly thinking about. But the day was perfect. I'll put in some pictures that we got sneak peeks from our photographer because we haven't actually gotten all of the pictures yet, but it was just the perfect day. It went really smoothly, and I'm really happy to say that I'm married now, and it was just perfect. So I will have a couple blog posts coming up about the wedding, but let me know if there's something that you would like specifically like to know, or a post or a video that you'd specifically like to see about it, because I have some ideas, but would love to know if there's something that you guys want to know. But it was just such a good day, and I wish I could relive it again. It was tiring, it was exhausting, but it was so worth it, and it was kind of amazing to see everything that I had in my head for so long kind of like in person and experience it, and it was perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed my favorites from September 2018. Let me know what you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.